Riku like to start doing yet another anime review. I'm going to get the bandana on, and we're going to get started. Today's topic of discussion, Kaze no Stigma. This anime basically follows the actions of this fireman. I'm not going to say fire mages, but rather fire users. There's this fire family who basically, they end up coming into encounter with a former member of their family who took up wind magic, Kazuma Yagami. And the anime basically follows those Kazumas and a member of the fire families who's supposed to be the head of the family soon enough, Ayano. And they basically go throughout the anime doing all kinds of, well, random things to build a set minor plot. Now, in the beginning, you'd think, okay, here's the basic premise of the anime, go on. But no. The anime itself, it'll go through actually 4 or 5 minor plots where the first one is basically Kazuma is supposedly going to be, or supposedly killing off members of the fire magic users, and basically, well, that's it. He's killing off the members of the family fire magic users. However, it turns out that's not true, and the arc gets killed off in about, I think, 2 or 3 episodes. Then it follows another minor plot, goes from there. Another minor plot goes from there. Now, this basically says that you can go through one arc, wait for a week, and then continue off, and you won't really miss anything. You really won't, actually, because it does follow minor plots, but the plot has the same basis, mostly. Once you get through, I think, 2 or 3 arcs, no, from the 2nd episode onward, it follows a basic plot basis. It goes from action to somewhat ecchi, to action to somewhat ecchi. Now, it goes from where all of a sudden Ayano, who basically Kazuma is hired to take up training Ayano to become the head of the family, she ends up wondering about this one girl Kazuma is like dating or something like that, and she tries to investigate that. Then it goes from then goes to action. Then it goes to where the father all of a sudden wants Kazuma to be in love with Ayano to get back into the family. I don't think that's ever explained why, but don't quote me on that. And it basically follows that set plotline throughout the anime, which it's kind of confusing because it somewhat turns into a minor ecchi about halfway through the anime, which makes no real sense. Now, throughout the anime, you get introduced to a few characters. This one chick who's like the head of some sort of detective agency. This one other fire magic user who gets introduced late into the anime. And you get introduced to Kazuma's former, it's either his wife or his girlfriend, but pretty much former lover. Now, as you get introduced to these characters, the plot slowly builds up to where you can kind of see where it's going at the end, and then finally it all builds up to this epic finale. But the finale never really does get finished, because it basically ends where, okay, so they take down the bad guy's plan, but the bad guy pretty much runs off, and you're kind of left with a bit of a cliffhanger, but the anime never continues. I believe that's because I've gained knowledge that apparently the writer of the anime died, but still the ending, it's kind of a stereotypical ending like High School of the Dead or Psyche no Quasar Season 1, but Season 2 continued on, etc. Now, there's one somewhat contradiction in the plot itself where, and it makes sense at first, because it says very early into the anime where, like, say I was a wind magic user, some other wind magic user wanted to fight me. Well, our magics are negated because, well, we're both wind magic users. And, like, fire magic against fire magic, that doesn't work either. They are immune to fire. But late in the anime, you get introduced to another fire magic user from the United States, who all of a sudden decides to fight Ayano. I don't remember if it's ever explained why. Yeah, it is. She wants to become the new... Ayano's family is considered the highest, like, the master fire magic users. She wants her family to be the highest, so she decides to take on Ayano. But early in the anime, it's introduced. Fire magic doesn't work against fire magic, so I don't see how that will work. Like, she also she has the ability to summon fire beasts, right? So is that how they explain it? I don't know, but it doesn't make sense how a fire magic user against another fire magic user would work. I don't know. There's another thing that I never quite understood. Kazuma is supposed to be this contractor who basically, in order to gain his wind magic, he forged a contract with the Spirit King of the Wind, and all of a sudden he can like activate the contract and pretty much become a wind god. Really basic. But I don't remember any time in the anime that there are no other contractors, which could have been a really good plot. Contractor against contractor, but I don't remember there ever being another one. So they kind of missed out on that possibility of another story arc, but in reality, because the writer died, I can somewhat see it not happening, but still, they could have been easily taken in over the whole Echi ordeal. It's just a big missed plot point in my opinion. The characters often show one set of emotion where Kazuma becomes all of a sudden the casual. He seems like he doesn't care, but he really does. But he's actually kind of the smart alecky wise guy. Like he knows what he's doing. He knows how to win this. But he comes off to be. He says it where he appears like an overall douchebag. It's really basic. Ayano is just quick-tempered. She doesn't really like to take any bullshit, to be really basic. She doesn't care. If she's mad and she wants to fight you, she will fight you. In fact, throughout half the anime, she's trying to pretty much burn Kazuma to death. Let's see here. Rin, Kazuma's little brother, he somehow has the ability to conjure like the best. I don't know if it. Spell, I guess, to put it basic. He can also conjure the best fire magic spell throughout the family, yet he's not supposed to be the head of the family. I don't know how that works, personally. But, yeah. So all the characters usually have one set ideals, or not ideals, one set of emotions that is blatantly apparent throughout half the anime, except for Ayano, who occasionally pulls off to be like somewhat of a softie, but I have no idea. You could have done so much with these characters, yet they only can show one set of emotion, it seems. It's just weird to me. The anime is missing a lot. Let's be fair here. It's missing a few plots it could have gone for. It's missing some character development. Like, it has some character development with Ayano, but everybody else is just kind of really the same, except for backstory. But the emotions never appear until after they show the backstory, which makes no logical sense. If this happened in the past and they're just now showing it, you'd think that it would have always would have been shown, but no. I don't know if that's an anime thing, but it always seems to appear somewhere in an anime. It just makes no logical sense. Now, overall the anime is pretty good. It's better than some animes. It's better than probably a good number of animes I've seen. If I were to give it a rating, I would give it 6 point, either a low 7 or a high 6. Because it's missing a good number of things that could have made it so good. But it's still a pretty good anime for what it's given. Like, it's better than, let's see here. In my opinion, it's better than Elfen Lied. Definitely better than, fucking Camphor. It's better than a lot of animes I've seen. So, it's still missing a lot, but it's still a very good anime. I would recommend it to a good number of people that I know. So, yeah, I'm gonna rest my case with a 7. It gets a good 7 out of 10. Now, I would recommend it to a lot of people, but still, if they have like a better anime that they want to watch, like a better anime that would suit them, then yeah, they should watch it. But it really depends on who's watching it. Let's be fair here. These reviews are truly somewhat of a matter of opinion, but still. So it gets a 7 out of 10, to be really basic. Now, let me just address one thing. I know I said I would do K-On! After I did Elfen Lied, but something came up and I cannot do a fair review of that. I am sorry for those who wanted to see that, but I can't do it. But good news is, I know for a fact what anime I'm doing next. and I'm going to show you a preview of it right now in AMV format.
There ain't no rest for the wicked. Money don't grow on trees. I got